It's the Blues Rock Show with Pete Francis and Willie Witten.
Welcome to the Blues Rock Show. I'm Willie Witten. Unfortunately, Pete Francis can't be with us today, but we've done you way better. We've got Shemekia Copeland here today with us. We're pretty excited. Shemekia, how you doing?
I'm doing the best I can. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. You've been busy of late. Let's get right into
Yeah.
what's important. Done Come Too Far is a new album that is coming out very soon, this Friday the 19th. The first thing I'm going to ask is, let's talk about it. How did you get into that? How did the feeling for this album arise? You've got Cedric Burnside, Sonny Landreth that you joined forces with. Tell us a bit about what's going on with this album.
Gosh, I don't know how this all happened. I tell you, it started with America's Child for me. And then after that, I kind of felt like, man, I'm not really finished with this record. I really felt like America's Child could have been just a continuation of a record, but a record has to have an ending. So that's when we did Uncivil War. And then that was finished at the end of, it was like this, we finished it December of 2019. And then of course, all hell broke loose in 2020. And it was like, oh my God, I guess it's going to have to be a trilogy because there's so much more to talk about and discuss.
A question that I always wonder, and sort of piggybacking off that, is as someone who is a solo artist, but obviously you're playing with different people, bands tend to have the same groups of people. They maybe find a producer or studios that they like or a group of them. But for you, you find yourself paired with different people often. How do those pairings take place? Do you choose them? Do they reach out to you? Are they planned or are they sort of organic?
Well, some of it happens organic, some of it's planned. I love working with Will Kimbrough. He knows everybody. And it's just, it happens organically. I really wanted to work with Cedric Burnside. I adore him. So I was very excited about that. And we had never done anything before. So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity. And same with Sonny Landreth. I mean, it just happened. It's really great that way. When you have music, good music, people want to be a part of it. And I love that. I love that.
So on this new album, and you refer to it as sort of part of this trilogy, a lot of things have changed. There's a lot going on in the world right now, as there always is, but it seems very present right now. A lot of your album, Done Come Too Far, is pretty lighthearted, but there are some pretty serious songs on it too. Pink Turns to Red, The Talk, which are early on in the set. Would you mind talking a bit about those? Because those are not just your casual listening songs. There's a lot going on underneath there.
Exactly. I mean, I feel like we're in this country, there's so many things that just don't ever get dealt with. And because they don't get dealt with, we end up with issues. We end up with problems. And I feel I'm a firm believer of let's talk about the problem. Let's figure out a way to solve it and move on. That's just the way I am in my life. You know what I mean? If there's an issue, let's talk about it and let's solve it. I think right now there's too much, everybody just wants to argue. I mean, what happened to just conversations? What happened to me talking to you, you talking to me respecting you, learning about you, you learning about me, so that we can overcome whatever we need to overcome and move forward? We don't have any of that anymore. It's just, let's just fight and argue. Let's just argue about everything. And we have to get past that and start conversations again. And that's what these songs are for me. They're conversation starters. And everybody, we live in a country where the media, they always talk about they throw out these things at people. They say gun control when nobody's really trying to control anyone's guns. They're just saying let's get them out of the hands of crazy people to keep our children safe. It seems so simple to me, but everybody wants to make an argument about it. I mean, I think everybody, any American can agree we want our kids to be safe, right? Why is it even an argument? But they make it one, And it's the same when they use words like, oh, critical race theory. We want to make our, make young kids feel bad, young white kids feel bad about their history, which we all come from a dark history, right? All of us. So it's not about making people feel bad about history. It's about us learning about our history. It's about the fact that so much history was written out and we don't know about it. And when you don't know your history, it can creep back up on you and repeat itself. And we don't want that happening. So, another one they throw out there too, which is another one they throw out, which is really upsetting to me, is they say defund the police when really they want to give the police more money so that they can be better educated to handle people who are autistic and be able to communicate with go into these different communities and not be afraid of what they don't know, and they don't just start shooting people just because they're scared. I mean, let's have conversations, and that's what I like to do. Start conversations. That's it.
All right. So that sort of feeds into what I was going to ask you next, because BB King Entertainer of the Year, you've been nominated for Grammy with Uncivil War. That seems to be part of what keeps you going, but you've accomplished so much now. What else keeps you going? What keeps you fresh? What is that impetus that drives you towards your next project and the one after and the one after?
You know what? In all honesty, after I had my little guy, Johnny, who's an amazing human being, I want him to be proud of me. I want to make little pieces of art that hopefully 20 years from now, he can say, look at what my mom did. Look at what she was able, look at what she said, look at what she tried to accomplish and change, and how she tried to help the world in some kind of way. That's what I want. I mean, for me, it's changing one heart at a time. I'm not trying to appeal to the masses here. I'm done with that. Trying to conform to the music business. I'm not doing that. The music business has to conform to me. Dr. John told me that. So I'm just doing what makes me happy at this point, and what can make me happy, make me proud, make me want to be able to look in the mirror in the morning, and what will make my little guy proud. And you know what? He is proud of me already.
Okay, let's talk, not so much about little Johnny, but let's talk about the family. If we're going to talk about little Johnny, we can talk about big Johnny, Johnny Copeland, a legend, a blues legend in his own right, out of Texas. I'm going to make this assumption, correct me if I'm wrong, but music was probably a big, or at least a substantial part of your life and your family growing up. Is that something that is big in little Johnny's life? Is it just, once again, is it organic? Does he show interest towards it already? How does it play a part in your daily familial life as a mother and sort of a torchbearer for the blues and music in general?
My little guy loves music. His mama's a blues singer. His mama's a blues singer. His dad is into metal. So he loves kind of hard rock, which is pretty hilarious to me. They're jamming around the house to Metallica and, Iron Maiden, and it cracks me up. But he also loves BB King and Buddy Guy too, and he loves Uncle Ronnie Brooks, so he loves listening to that stuff. So he's he's into all kinds of music. He loves it. So I don't know. Maybe we'll have a future musician. We'll see.
And speaking of the future, the blues. Yes, there are organizations, the Blues Music Foundation, Blues Music Awards. For those who are in the know it and love it, what do you think is perhaps one or two things that you think blues and blues rock can do to keep the music relevant in a very difficult time for all music genres to survive and to be profitable and to make a living of?
Yeah, well, the Blues Foundation, they do a great job in education, preservation, and that's huge. So that's what we need to do: preserve, educate, and that's what we all can do. Preserve and educate. Yeah.
What are you currently doing? Obviously, this album drops this Friday. People are already giving it rave reviews. What is next on the docket for Shemekia Copeland?
I don't know. It's funny because I say that this is the trilogy, like the ends for me of doing socially conscious songs. But at the same time, I'm not sure if that's the case. But I definitely want to try something else. I'm not sure what that is yet, but we'll see. I don't know.
Shemekia, any parting thoughts you have that you think people might be interested in? Anything you want to say to our viewers?
Well, I'm so looking forward to being out touring and performing these songs and meeting the people. It's been so long. It's been a great year of doing little festivals and running around and seeing people and seeing my friends and seeing all the fans out there. We just love them so much for their support. So I'm looking forward to that.
All right, everybody, take a listen. Done Come Too Far comes out this Friday, August the 19th. Blues Rock Review's own Fidel Becerra says certainly one of the best blues albums of the year. That's all you need to know.
That's sweet.
Those who know, it's Shemekia. Shemekia, thank you once again. For myself, Willie Witten, and for Pete Francis, who can't be here, thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Blues Rock Show.
Thank you so much.